Namaste. We are from an organization called Varchas, conducting devotional classes for children in Adyar, Chennai for the last 3 years. This Navaratri, our kids have got together to present a thematic Kolu titled Kannanin Paadhai Krishnanin Geethai, where we'd be retelling different instances in the life of Shri Krishna through 11 namavalis. Our Kolu further continues to present the message of Lord Krishna as told in the Bhagavad Gita and ends with a small note on the Lord's last message to his dear devotee Uddhava. Now let's begin with the first namavali. Once, when Mother Earth was inflicted with adharma, she approaches Lord Brahma and Lord Vishnu for help. Lord Vishnu promises to be born as baby Krishna in the city of Mathura. This is what the Lord said in Bhagavad Gita too. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuktanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Whenever the adharmic balance of the universe is disturbed, I shall take birth to restore dharma. The next namavali is Om Devaki Vasudeva Nandanaya Namaha. Unjust king of Mathura, Kamsa, while driving the wedding chariot of his beloved sister Devaki and his brother-in-law Vasudeva, hears a scary voice. You will be killed by the 8th child of your sister. This shocks Kamsa and he puts them both in prison where baby Krishna is born after a while.
Kannan pirandadu karanchirayil kandana petrol iruvarume Kannan pirandadu ashtamiyil nata nadunishi velayile Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna. But now Krishna cannot be left happily in the jail. He has to be taken to safety. The guards go asleep. The river Yamuna paves way and he is taken to Ma Yashoda's house and exchanged with the baby born there. Kungum Yamunayum Vanangi Valivida Mangalamurti Gokulam Adaida. The next namavali is Om Gokulavasine Namaha. But the joy in Gokula seems to be short-lived, with the frightened Kamsa sending one asura after the other, be it Trunavata, the demon who had flying powers and who tried to lift little Krishna up in the sky after distracting the Gokulavasi's attention by creating a whirlwind of dust, or be it the Sakatasura who disguised himself as a bullock at wheel during the busy preparations of the naming ceremony, or be it the demoness with her poisonous milk, Krishna had them all finished off in no time.
Nudana Mardana Papa Vinashana Keshava Hare Madhava Adharma Nashane Odivayo Dharmatin Rakshanane Adivayo.
These asuric episodes never deterred little Krishna from continuing his naughty pranks. The poor cows ran helter-skelter when their tails were pulled by Krishna and Balarama.
The never-ending episodes of butter stealing brought a steady flow of complaints from the Gopikas, and Ma Yashoda had no choice than to tie this little fellow to a heavy mortar. But Krishna crawled across with this heavy mortar, and when he passed by the twin trees, the celestial twins who were under a curse were released as Krishna passed by them.
It was an easy, miraculous feat for little Krishna, but the elders in Gokula suggested that they all move to a nearby pastoral land of Vrindavana.
The next namavali is Om Vrindavanavasine Namaha.
Vrindavana was a beautiful place with lovely pastoral lands, vibrating with the melodious music of the Lord's flute.
Namo Kannanin But here too, Kamsa tried to disturb the peacefulness by sending one asura after the other. Be it the Pashavasura, who came in the form of a calf, or Bhakasura, who came in the form of a crane, or Dhenukasura, who came in the form of a donkey in a palm garden, or be it the Aghasura, who came in a snake form, be it Kalinga, who poisoned the waters of the Yamuna with his venom. Krishna put them all to death by his heroic acts. One more miraculous incident in Vrindavana was Krishna's swallowing of the forest flames that surprised many. Gokulathil pirandai Krishna, Govardhanam taridai Krishna, Kalinganai vadidai Krishna, Kalameganarane. The next namavali is Om Bhanashine Namaha.
No doubt it is our duty to worship and appease the Devas, for we depend on them for the harmonious function felt too haughty about his importance and being overpowered by delusion when he objected to the people worshipping Mount Govardhana instead of him. Krishna keeps a check on Indira's atrocities.
The next namavali is Om Bhakta Priyaya Namaha.
Once in Gokula, when Krishna heard a fruit seller selling fruits, he lent out a few grains in exchange for some tasty fruits. The old woman did not mind the little amount of grains that fell from Krishna's hands. She in turn gave him lots of fruits, and the grains turned into gold. Even a little what we can offer to God with love and respect is multiplied manifold, is what this namavali teaches us.
The next namavali is Om Smarana Paladhataya Namaha.
Smaranam means remembrance, and the Gopikas stand a lovely example to this. Offering everything unto God and remembering Him always, they dedicate all actions unto their beloved Krishna. And Krishna reciprocated their love, and every Gopika felt as though she had her own Krishna. And the Gopikas found in themselves an expression of their own individual freedom, and this is what is philosophically called Jivatma Paramatma Aikyam. And all the art forms, so many of them are centered around this Rasa Leela, where the Gopikas had a lovely time with Krishna on a fine moonlit night. The next scene that we have depicted under this namavali is Kamsavada. Krishna and Balarama were invited by Kamsa to Mathura for a wrestling challenge. They first faced an elephant by name Kuvalaya Pida, and then handled the wrestlers Mustika and Chanura, and then King Kamsa was put to death by Krishna. But wonder why we have placed Kamsavada under Smarana Paladhataya Namaha? They say there's only a thin line between love and hatred. Even though it was out of fear and hatred, Kamsa was always thinking about Krishna, and the result of this Smarana is that he was blessed with the vision of Narayana at the time of his death.
Devaki Vasudevar Petra Selvame Gopala Yashodai Nanda Bala Unnayavalode Kana Vanden Arul Purivaye Konjam Dayai Purivaye Pavikam Sanai Vadaita Bala Krishnane Pallaile Pambanai Mer Kalli Kondarangane.
The next namavali is Om Abad Bandhavaya Namaha.
Abad Bandhavaya Namaha. True to what this namavali means, Krishna is always a reliable friend in times of distress. Do we not see him help his childhood friend Sudama? Sudama, or Kuchela as he is known, he did not even express his need to Krishna. Still, Krishna understood his friend's need and blesses him with wealth and prosperity.
தூய்மை உள்ளத்து ஏழ்மை நண்பன் குச்சேலனை செய்த மாதவனே.
Draupadi is yet another ardent devotee of Krishna, and Krishna shared a sisterly love with her. At the forest during the Pandavas' exile, when she finds it difficult to meet both ends with the little resources but many visitors, Krishna blesses her with the Akshaya Patra. And the other well-known instance, when she was tried to be disrobed in the court of Duryodhana during the vicious game of dice, Krishna came to her rescue with an endless supply of sari.
மானம் காத்தவனே தீனசரண்யா வா 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 கேசவனே மாதவனே யாதவனே நீ வா 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 கண்ணா நீ வா 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 மணிவண்ணா நீ வா வா வா.
The next namavali is Om Sadbhakta Priyaya Namaha. This is yet another show of true love to God. Once, sage Narada poses a challenge to Devi Satyabhama, saying that she could get her Krishna back from the sage on showing her love equivalent to the weight of Krishna. Satyabhama, who's from a royal background, found no difficulty in this, as she offered loads and loads of gold to match Krishna's weight. But not an inch does the balance move. When Rukmini was called to rescue the situation, she picks a tulasi leaf and offers it with all love, thinking about Krishna. And aho, the Tulabharam balances. God never expects pomp and show from us. He says in the Gita, even a small leaf, flower, fruit or water offered with love and respect is worthier than any richest offering done with pride and show.
पत्रं पुष्पं फलं तोयं यो मे भक्त्या प्रयच्छति तदहं भक्त्युपहृतम् अश्नामि प्रयतात्मनः.
The next namavali is
Om Asuranashakaya Namaha.
Among the various asuras whom Krishna had faced, the most powerful and vile among them was Jarasandha, the father-in-law of Kamsa, who wanted to revenge Krishna for widowing his daughters. He had so many akshauhinis of powerful men whom Krishna had to destroy. Here we have shown Krishna and Balarama cornering Jarasandha at the Pravarshana hills with the help of the tribals around them. And later, Jarasandha was killed by Bhima under the strategic help of Krishna. In between, in order to save the people of Mathura from Jarasandha's attack, Krishna established the city of Dwaraka, requesting the sea god Varuna to recede and give way. And also, the celestial architect Vishwakarma was quick enough to build the city of Dwaraka for the people of Mathura.
देवकी नंदा कृष्णा देवादिदेवा कृष्णा द्वारकनाथा कृष्णा दीनजनार्दने.
The next namavali is
Om Muraraye Namaha.
Another powerful asura was Narakasura. His fort was built by an Asuric architect by name Mura. Mura had built his fort in such a way that it was surrounded by 5 elements: rings of fire, strong winds, deep waters, etc. Then that it was hard to be conquered even for the cleverest enemy. But do you think anything would be invincible for Krishna?
Krishna came with Satyabhama on the majestic Garuda to destroy both Mura and Narakasura. The killing of Mura gives Krishna the name Murari.
Krishna Mukunda Murare, Jaya Krishna Mukunda Murare.
The next namavali is Om Karma Paladataya Namaha. This is a very important namavali teaching us the basic facets of Hinduism. Most of us are familiar about the happenings of the Mahabharata war, and I'm sure that many of us would have wondered about this. We know that Lord Krishna supported the Pandavas who were on the dharmic side. But in the process of supporting the Pandavas, has Krishna taken to unfair means? I'm sure this question would have risen in us, but Krishna being Lord, we respectfully evade these questions. But do you think Duryodhana would have evaded them? Definitely not. Was the war on Gada or the mace between Duryodhana and Bhima. The powerful Duryodhana could not be put down. It was then that Krishna points to Bhima to hit the latter in the thigh, reminding of Draupadi's vow. But hitting at the lower part of the body was against the mace fighting rules, and during the last moments while losing to Bhima, Duryodhana speaks this to Krishna. He says, Krishna, you say that you have come down onto earth as an avatara to protect dharma. But I say, if you are killed, dharma will automatically be protected. And he enumerates various reasons from the Mahabharata to justify the same. He says, did I not arrive before Arjuna to meet you before the war seeking help? You were asleep, or rather pretended to be asleep, and on waking you said that you saw Arjuna first and gave him the first choice. He chose you and I took your army. And then what happened to Bhishmacharya? You placed Shikhandi in front of him, knowing very well that he wouldn't face a transgender. And what happened in the case of Dronacharya? You lied to him that Ashwathama is dead, whereas only an elephant in the name of Ashwathama had actually been killed. And didn't you send Indra to get the Kavacha Kundala from Karna, which were such a great source of strength to him? And to top it all, did you not approach Karna while he was fiercely fighting Arjuna and begged him to grant your wretched self the benefit of his good deeds as arms? Who advised Arjuna to kill Karna while he was mending his chariot? And what did you just tell Bhima? To hit me at my thighs. Is this the war rules that you know? Is this dharma? You say that you are on earth as the Lord's avatar to protect dharma. But I say, if you are killed, dharma will automatically be protected. Krishna patiently listens to Duryodhana. He says, truly I feel sorry for you, Duryodhana. I'm not going to refute whatever you say. But I have played the game in accordance with the rules that you set for yourself. That was my dharma. You played your game wrong right from the beginning. Didn't you not hate your cousins? Who tried to poison Bhima?
tried to burn alive the Pandavas, building for them a palace on highly inflammable material? Who employed Sakuni during the game of dice? Was disrobing a lady in public morality according to your law of dharma? And you tell about the rules of the war. What did you all do to the young and brave Abhimanyu when he entered the Chakravyuha? Was it a fair fight? Radheya, Ashwathama, Kritivarma, Jayatratha, Drona, and the son of Dusasana all ganged up to kill him. And why did you not give a lecture on dharma to those warriors who killed this boy without any sense of dignity? Remember, dharma is not a one-way street. This is the right way to fight you. The game of life is like a chessboard. I made my moves in response to yours. This is how the game of life is played, and that is what I told Arjuna at the beginning of the war. With this, we have covered the 11 namavalis of Lord Krishna. Now, moving on to Bhagavad Gita and Uddhava Gita. We have seen Krishna as an endearing toddler, as a miraculous and mischievous boy, as a dutiful cowherd, as an expert flautist, as a lovely companion, as a reliable friend, as a tough strategist to adharmic people, and so on. But the most important role in his avatara is his role as the preceptor of the Vedantic teaching to Arjuna. Vedas are vast. They have come from the Lord himself and were received by the rishis in their meditative states. Gita is the essence of Vedas milked by the expert Krishna. The Gomata is compared to the Vedas, and Krishna, the expert cowherd boy, has extracted the essence of the Vedas and fed the milk of Bhagavad Gita to his dear calf Arjuna. The Gita opens with the blind king Dhritarashtra wanting to know from Sanjaya the happenings of the inevitable Kurukshetra war. Now, the entire Gita is a report of Minister Sanjaya to King Dhritarashtra, saying about the happenings in the battlefield. Sanjaya reports that Arjuna commands his Sarathi Lord Krishna to take his chariot to the center of the battlefield so that he gets a clear view of how the opponents are arrayed. On viewing, the commander in Arjuna suddenly gives way to an emotionally overpowered Arjuna who sinks in the middle of the battlefield. Overpowered by attachment to his kith and kin, he becomes sad on the imaginary thought of losing them, and his nerves tremble with fear. He puts down his bow and arrow. This problem of attachment, sorrow, and fear called raga, shoka, and moha is an inherent enemy in all of us. As adults, we face this quite sometimes in our lives, which is the reason exactly why Gita is relatable to us even after 5,000 years. The first chapter is entirely a sermon by Arjuna trying to justify this basic human problem of raga, shoka, and moha.
He lectures to Arjuna as to why he wouldn't fight this war. He says, I tremble at the thought of a fight. I do not want victory or any kingdom. Those facing us are no foes, they are family. Look, there stands my great uncle Bhishma, on whose lap I played. My beloved teachers Dronacharya and Kripacharya, who taught me how to hold a bow. I cannot kill them. My cousins and my friends, how can I kill them? Can fratricide ever be excused? What shall I gain by killing my own kinsmen? I have lost all sense of what is right. I just know I cannot shed the blood of my elders, so I will not fight. Lord Krishna remains a silent spectator. He has no choice to stop the non-stop lamenting of Arjuna. His role as a charioteer binds him so. It is one turning point in the beginning of chapter 2 where Arjuna surrenders to Krishna. He says, I'm totally deluded and confused. Please tell me what is right. Please teach me what to do. It is now that Krishna starts speaking. Krishna says, first get up and do your duty of fighting this war for the sake of dharma. He enumerates the reasons as shown here. Arjuna, such a behavior at a time of crisis does not suit a warrior. Be strong, be firm, stand up and face your opponent. Fight. Your pain is misplaced, for there is no wisdom in grief. The wise are not deceived by death. Remember the duty of a warrior. By refusing to draw arms in a war of justice, you'll be performing adharma and you'll be condemned for this. Understand that if you die in battle, you'll attain heaven. If you win, you'll gain the earth. Arjuna, you are a role model in society, whether you acknowledge it or not. If you run away from a justful war, society will look down upon you. You'll be setting a bad example to future generations. He further says that wise people do not grieve for anything in life, for they know the essential nature of God. Krishna says, such a person is ever in peace, like the ocean that remains the same despite the ups and downs. Having listened to Krishna, Arjuna gets confused. He says, Hey Krishna, you are talking about understanding the higher nature of God as a solution to all problems in life. I'm ready to do that. But then, why are you asking me to do this terrible duty of fighting this war? Like most of us feel like shirking away when it comes to tough, unpleasant duties, Arjuna also felt so. So Krishna patiently explains the path to Arjuna. Doing one's duty is also important, and reading the scriptures and knowing the higher nature of God is also equally important. So Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga are two important topics in the entire Gita. Karma Yoga is proper action and proper attitude. Karma means proper action and yoga means proper attitude. Proper action is in general doing what is right and keeping away from wrong. It includes our daily duties in 5 ways. Deva Yajna, worship of God in any form that we know. Pitru Yajna, doing our ancestral duties in specific in specific, and generally it means respecting parents and elders. Brahma Yajna, the study of scriptures and passing on the same to the next generations. Then Manushya Yajna, which is service to humanity in any form that we know. And Bhuta Yajna, service to plants and animals around us. These 5 yajnas, Deva Yajna, Pitru Yajna, Brahma Yajna, Manushya Yajna and Bhuta Yajna, we included in our daily activities. These form the Panchamaha Yajna and are an important part of Karma Yoga. So we saw Karma Yoga. Karma means proper action and yoga means proper attitude. Proper attitude is converting work itself into worship, dedicating all actions unto God and receiving the results of action as prasada from God. Here we have shown mundane activities, everyday activities, converting all actions as worship to God. Krishna says, Arjuna, keep doing Karma Yoga. It helps to purify and prepare your mind to take up Jnana Yoga. It automatically leads to a guru through whom we can take up a systematic Shastra study program to know the higher nature of Bhagavan and internalize the same. One can be a grihastha, that is, in a householder's lifestyle itself, and understand the nature of God, or one can take to sannyasa to understand about God. The choice doesn't matter, but knowing who God really is the highest form of bhakti one can express as a Hindu. Bhagavan mentions King Janaka as a perfect jnani who lived with a saintly mind despite his duties of being a king. He lived as a grihastha, and yet even with high responsibilities of a king, he never missed to study the Shastras and know about God. Apart from these 2 topics, namely Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga, Krishna talks about other topics like Bhakti, Dhyanam, inculcating good values, etc. He shows Arjuna his Vishwarupa form in which the Lord manifests as the entire universe. And this is about the essence of Bhagavad Gita that we have shown in our Gulu. Now, moving on to the context of Uddhava Gita and a little bit of what is told in the Uddhava Gita. Krishna's avatara was coming to an end, and all the celestial beings, the Devas and Rishis, assembled to remind Krishna to be back to Vaikunta. Krishna tells them that one more important mission of destruction of his own clan remains, as the Yadavas have become too arrogant. They, living in the beautiful city of Dwaraka that Krishna had built for them, and being in the warmth of Krishna, had grown too arrogant, and Krishna had the duty of destruction of the Yadavas. Sage Durvasa's curse onto Krishna's son Sambha and Queen Gandhari's curse onto Krishna when she said 36 years later, Krishna, your clan would face the same fate as my sons after this Mahabharata war. So these 2 curses served as instruments for the destruction of the Yadava clan. But it is an important highlight to remember that God is never impartial. Be it his own son or his own clan, he is never impartial.
Well, this is the background of Uddhava Gita. But where does Uddhava actually come in? Uddhava, who was present during the time the celestials visited Lord Krishna, could not bear the imaginary loss of Krishna. As Krishna empowered the emotionally disturbed Arjuna, he empowers Uddhava with the same knowledge, and this teaching of Krishna to Uddhava is what we call the Uddhava Gita. There once lived a king, Yadu, who was one of the ancient rulers of the Yadava dynasty. This king once asked an Avaduta about the secret of his happiness. Avadutas are saintly people who do not possess anything, but just knowing about God, they are happy by themselves. When King Yadu asks Avaduta about the secret of his happiness, the Avaduta replies that the entire world is his teacher and he learns from each and every one of them. 24 gurus are made a mention, of whom we have shown a few of the dolls. Krishna's teaching to Uddhava begins with the mention about this Avaduta's teaching to King Yadu. Now let us look at a few examples. The Avaduta says, "From the earth I learned to be tolerant and to do good only for the sake of others. The air, although it carries good and bad odors, is never affected by them and is not choosy about what it wants to carry. Water is always cool, comforting and pure, and so is a sage. Contact with a sage purifies a person who seeks his company. And a sage is like a fire which is not contaminated by good or bad. Anything thrown into the fire reduces to ashes, even the filthiest thing that is thrown into it, and it remains pure. The revolving of time one sees changes in the moon, but actually the moon itself remains the same. Similarly, birth and death belong to the body, but the Atman remains the same always in all conditions.
The sun, when reflected in many buckets of water, appears as many suns, but is actually one. So too, the Atman, when reflected in many individuals, appears as many, but is actually one. A snake enters and lives in a hole which has been made by others. It is not particular about where it sleeps or what it eats. So is a sage.
Just as an arrow maker's attention is fixed upon making of perfect arrows, so too should be our concentration ever fixed upon the Lord.
The Avaduta says that I am like a child, carefree and happy, because I have no attachments whatsoever. My only playmate is my Lord.
The elephant, deer, the fish are all animals which fall an easy prey to the hunters. They get attracted to the traps very easily. Avaduta says, so too are our sense organs. We must not fall a trap to them. So we have shown a few examples of the 24 gurus which the Avaduta has mentioned to King Yadu. And this is Uddhava Gita, a glimpse of Uddhava Gita that we have shown in this year's Golu, and we hope to do more of it next time. We have ended this Golu with the display of Krishna avatars, and the Lord was sitting under a tree in the forest recounting his roles played in this avatar, and a hunter by name Jara, who came that way, mistook the Lord's feet to be that of a dim and shot at it. Realizing his folly, he craves at the Lord's feet. But Lord Krishna consoles the hunter, saying that he's only acted as an instrument in the process of what actually had to happen. We know Krishna is himself a Yadava, and would he not have to be included in the Yadava Samhara? And now we present to you some of the additional information that we browsed through. These are works of different Arvars on the namavalis which we have chosen. Some of the festivals celebrated on Krishna: Holi, Govardhana Puja, Rasalila dance during Navaratri, Gokulashtami, and these are some of the books about Lord Krishna, and these are the poets who have sung on Krishna: Meerabhai, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Raskhan, Tukaram, Jayadeva, Surdas, and these are some of the Krishna temples in India. The famous Puri Jagannath temple, then temples in Dwaraka, Guruvayur temple, Kerala, then temples in Vrindavan, Udupi temple, then this is a temple in Trichambaram, Tamil Nadu, where Krishna is supposed to be seen there in in a ferocious form after the Kamsavada. And these are some of the other temples, Krishna temples in India. Thank you. Thank you for watching. May we seek the blessings of Lord Krishna to empower us with the knowledge of the Gita, just like his student Arjuna.
Yogeshwara Krishna Yatra Pato Dhanodhara Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhote Rumani Tirma Mama.